tonight. A husband notices something strange in his kitchen. He sets up a hidden camera, and what he discovers forces him to make a heartbreaking decision. Liam and Sophia had been married for 4 years, living in a cozy home filled with warmth, laughter, and the smell of home-cooked meals. Liam had always been a passionate cook, a skill he had inherited from his late grandmother, who had taught him everything she knew about traditional recipes. Ever since he and Sophia moved in together, he had made it his mission to prepare dinner every evening. He loved the way food brought people together, and nothing made him happier than watching his wife enjoy his cooking. But lately something felt off. He would cook elaborate meals, roast chicken with rosemary, homemade pasta with fresh tomato sauce, perfectly seared salmon with lemon butter. But every morning, when he opened the trash, he would find untouched portions of food hidden beneath layers of napkins and coffee grounds, as if someone had tried to conceal them. At first he brushed it off, thinking Sophia might have simply lost her appetite. Work had been stressful for her, and maybe she just wasn't in the mood to eat. But the pattern continued. He noticed she always took smaller portions at dinner, moving the food around her plate, making it look like she had eaten more than she actually had. And no matter what he cooked, no matter how much effort he put into each meal, he always found the same thing in the trash the next morning. His lovingly prepared dishes, untouched and hidden. One night, after making her favorite meal, slow-cooked beef stew with fresh herbs, he saw it again. Sophia smiled, complimented the dish, took a few bites, and excused herself, saying she was full. But Liam knew better. This time, he decided he needed answers. He installed a small, discreet camera in the kitchen, positioning it near the trash can. He told himself he wasn't doing this out of distrust. He just needed to understand what was happening. If she wasn't eating his food, why? Was something wrong? Was she sick? The next morning, after Sophia had left for work, Liam sat at his laptop and played the footage. At first, there was nothing unusual. After dinner, she walked into the kitchen, washed her plate, and stood at the sink for a long moment, her shoulders tense. Then, she turned around, carefully took the full portion of food from her plate, wrapped in napkins, and stuffed it deep into the trash. Liam's heart sank. He had expected to see her throwing away leftovers, but what he saw next made his breath catch in his throat. After tossing away the food, Sophia turned around, opened the pantry, and pulled out a small container. She unscrewed the lid, dipped a spoon inside, and ate something from it. The camera angle wasn't perfect, but he could see enough. She had a secret stash of food? He replayed the footage again. She had waited until he wasn't looking, then thrown away the dinner he made with so much care, only to replace it with whatever she had hidden in the pantry. Why? Why would she do this? Was she secretly on a diet? Was she avoiding his cooking for some reason? That night, he decided to confront her. When Sophia came home, he set a plate in front of her, the same stew from the night before. "We need to talk," he said. Her hands trembled slightly as she reached for her fork. "What's wrong?" she asked. He took a deep breath. "I know you're not eating my food," he said carefully. "I saw the trash. I set up a camera, Sophia. I saw you." Her face went pale, and for a long moment she said nothing. Then, without a word, she stood up, walked to the pantry, and pulled out the small container. She placed it on the table in front of him, her eyes filled with something he couldn't quite read. Shame? Fear? "This is what I eat," she whispered. Liam frowned, picking up the container. He opened the lid and stared inside. It was filled with small plain rice cakes, nothing else, no flavor, no variety, just dry, flavorless pieces of puffed rice. He looked up at her, confused. "Sophia, what is this?" She exhaled shakily, her hands gripping the edge of the table. I can't eat real food anymore," she admitted. "I haven't been able to for a long time." Liam felt a cold knot form in his stomach. "What do you mean?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "When I was younger, I struggled with something, an eating disorder. I thought I had overcome it, but somewhere along the way it crept back in." "Your meals? They're amazing, Liam. They really are. But every time I sit down to eat, I feel guilty. I feel like I don't deserve it. I've been forcing myself to eat these instead," she gestured at the rice cakes, her voice breaking. "It's the only thing that makes me feel in control." Liam sat in stunned silence, his heart aching. He had been so focused on why she was rejecting his food that he hadn't seen the deeper struggle she was facing. This wasn't about his cooking. This was about something she had been battling silently, alone. "Sophia," he said gently, reaching for her hands, "you don't have to do this alone. We can get help." She let out a shaky breath, nodding, tears spilling onto her cheeks. "I was scared you'd be angry," she admitted. "Scared you'd see me differently." Liam squeezed her hands tightly. "I don't see you any differently," he said firmly. "But I won't let you suffer like this. We'll take this one step at a time, together." That night, for the first time in a long time, Sophia sat with him at the table, not just pretending to eat, but talking about what she was going through. She didn't finish her meal, and that was okay. It was a small step. But it was the first step toward healing. Liam realized that sometimes the answers we seek aren't what we expect. Sometimes they reveal something even more important, a chance to be there for the people we love in ways we never imagined. What do you think about Liam's discovery? Have you ever uncovered a truth about someone you love that changed everything? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life stories, because sometimes the biggest mysteries aren't about what we see, but what we don't.